Hey everybody, this is back for a quick vid. Got ahead of subscriber Phoenix. He asked a question whether if you went away for 2 weeks over Christmas, would his digester starve? Now the short answer is I'm not exactly sure, but the long answer is probably not. And there's a few things you can probably do to ensure that it will survive. Because I gather the lack of feeding would mean the methogens will die out, which raises the pH. So what we're going to do now, in the spirit of the test, is we're actually going to do a pH test. Now this is just a pool test kit, so it measures the free chlorine, which is not relevant to us, and alkalinity and pH. So we'll get the pH reading of what the tank is now and the alkalinity. And the alkalinity is also important because it creates a buffer which stops it from volatile pH changes, and that's what you want, especially if you're not going to feed it for quite a while. So we'll do that, and all I'm going to do is, it's just a little strip. I'll pull one out here, little strip, three things there, three indicators. They'll change colour according to what we want here. And I'm just going to put that in the waste pipe because that's exposed and I can easily get to it. So I'll do that and I'll come back. So I finished carrying out the pH test, and the results were pretty surprising. I thought the acidity would go well into that acidic range, but what happens is, I'll show you this first. This is a strip. So the top one's of free chlorine, I'm not going to worry about that. The alkaline, the blue, that's good, that's got a good buffer. But here we can see that it's got a pH of around about 9, and that's not great, because I haven't fed this tank since I read the question. So it's been several days since I've fed the tank. I've left it probably about a week, certainly not 2 weeks, but what it means is that all the methogens in the tank have eaten all the digestate that I've put in. So the level of methogens has increased while the volatile acids have decreased. So what that means is I need to feed the tank. Now, I'm thinking another way to overcome Phoenix's problem is to lower the temperature in the tank. I'm not sure where you're from, Phoenix, but mine, I use an aquarium heater which has an adjustable knob on there, so I can lower the temperature, which means the methogens will be less active. And I've actually read that you can actually decommission your tank over winter if you choose. So the temperature will drop in the winter and just leave it go, and then in the summertime, of course, the ambient temperature or wherever you live will warm the tank, stirring the bacteria back up to active level. So that's an option. Because I think you said you use co-digestion with cow manure and food, I think cow manure is going to be eaten a bit slower, because when I emptied my tank to bring it up here, I had started with cow manure and there was bucket loads still left in there, and I mean like grass that had not been digested at all. So I think if you're doing co-digestion, it may last a bit longer. So it's up to you really whether you want to give it a good feed before you leave or turn down the heat. Like I haven't fed mine for a week and it's still bubbling. I don't know if you can hear it in the background there, but it's still going, despite not being fed. Yeah, the alkalinity, the pH alkalinity, it's a little bit surprising. I haven't done a pH test for maybe a month, certainly not while it's been moved to the shed. So that might be some of your options, mate. I'm sure you might be able to pick up some more research across the web, but either feed it, lower the temperature, or just hope for the best. If it does go either way, like I'd recommend doing a pH test anyway. You can adjust it one way or the other. So if it's gone too acidic, you put bicarb soda or lime in, and the other way you can probably just use like citric acid or something like that, whatever you can find. Yeah, I think that's the way for you. If you do it, let me know in the comments. If anyone else has any tips for him, feel free to share. Right, thanks guys, thanks for watching. Just quickly, I thought I'd carry out another pH test just because I wasn't sure. So anyway, I've just fed the tank, so there's overflow coming out from the tank, and I got that fresh overflow instead of the stagnant stuff sitting on top. So yeah, so what I've got is result here. That's about in the middle there, and that's 7.2, 7.8, and that's pretty damn close to what you want. The ideal tank pH is 6.8 to 7.2. So in between there is good, and it, yeah, probably more so here. So it's a little bit alkaline, but it's still good. Like say the blue up here, you're about there. So we've still got good alkalinity buffer range, so that's good. So after a week, we've got still reasonably good. It's a little bit alkaline in the pH level, but after a week of not feeding it, it's pretty good. So I reckon, mate, you might be bloody safe. Be worth a shot anyway. I wouldn't worry too much about it. It'd be interesting to see what you've got, what setup you've got, and what your gas collection is. Because I know certainly if I go away for 2 weeks, this bag that I've got is going to be chockers. So I'm going to have to look at maybe getting another 2 bags or something, so I've got 3 cubic metre storage. There's only so much I can compress. Yeah, mate. Hope you do well with it. Let us know how you go. Cheers.